Alright guys, I'm back. It has been a little while, just under 2 weeks I believe. Let's see, 11 days ago was my last video, so not terrible. Life catches up, you gotta pay bills, work a little extra, whatever. I really haven't had much time to do anything, but right now we're kind of just gonna do a quick update and kind of go over what's going on, like with the crawler, the Revo stuff over there, and the main big thing is, as you could tell, I'm missing quite a few cars. So, real quick, the LMT, I sold that truck, and what else did I sell? I don't know if ever shown on video, but I had a ECX Ruckus, two-wheel drive monster truck, kind of like a cheaper version of a Stampede. And I had it for, I don't know, a week or two. I put way too much power into it, had a 4S system in it. And I ended up selling that with the mud truck for a decent bit of money, but it all went to bills already. So, um, but the mud truck had a weird issue going on where you give it, any amount of throttle while you're holding the truck, it's perfectly fine. But if it has any load on it, like driving around, you give it just the tiniest blip of throttle, the thing would go wide open for like 4 seconds, and it's either ESC or receiver. So I just pretty much threw that other ECX on top of it because it had all the same stuff in it for it. And plus, I stole the servo out of it to put in my crawler. So that's where the mud truck is. The Losi, if you remember, the Laser Knot I traded for the XRT, which also is not in here. Neither is the Max Slash. And what else was there? Did I get rid of anything else? I don't I don't think so. Well, we'll get back to it in a second. I did get a couple other things. But the XRT, it's a phenomenal truck. I love it. It's just, for me to take it anywhere, it's kind of a hassle. Kind of like an X Max. If you have an X Max, you know exactly how it is. They're a pain in the ass to lug around. They're big, they're bulky. If they break, they're kind of a pain to work on, and they're not super expensive. Like, they're a little more expensive than, say, a 110 scale. And like, say a Slash, control arms are $5 for two of them roundabout. XRT X Max are gonna be about $10 roundabout, if not more. Luckily, I've never had to do any work to mine besides just cleaning it, and I did put tires on it, the belted ones. But in my opinion, for right now, if say I still have the XRT, it's just in the car. Same with the Max Slash, but I do have a guy that's interested in the XRT and the Max Slash as kind of a 2-in-1 deal, and possibly batteries. So I have my batteries and chargers, which usually I don't sell those with it, but I've known the guy for a while, and if he wants them for good, if we could come up with a good price on everything, it maybe works them out. Not 100% sure, but anyway, like I was saying, XRT is great, but I think for what I do bashing wise, I've noticed specifically with the XRT, it does not backflip or front flip very well, but it handles phenomenally. I just would prefer an X Max, so um, that's probably, I may look into getting a used X Max with maybe bone stock or whatever I could find. I would prefer the newer like 8S version and not the old 6S one, but that's kind of where the XRT is. It's in my car, waiting to be sold tomorrow. And same with the Max Slash, that's also going tomorrow, probably around tomorrow morning. Which some of that money, if you go to my dad's channel, Treetop Garage, you've seen I have a 50 Pontiac. Some of that's going to getting fenders for it, which aren't cheap, but it's the best deal I've found on fenders for them. So that's kind of what that's going to, and then like bills and whatever else. Now, the crawler, I finally figured out what axles these are. So originally I thought it was like the Gen 8 Scout axles, which it's not. So these are actually the Gen 9 axles from, say, like the newer Scout that they came out with. It's a little bit different. On the Gen 8, these C hubs are actually two pieces to the axle. So you have the main axle housing and then your C hub. This is all molded in the same. I did notice the rear is the same Gen 8. Gen 8 V2, whichever. Basically, the difference is Gen 8 V1, right up here where the shock goes in. That's a double shear on the V2. On the Gen 1, it's just one single side. So it only has one side on the mount. But this thing, you may be able to tell it's a little bit different. I did put a winch on it. Yes, it does work. It actually lifts the truck, which is fairly surprising. A couple little scale things, whatever. I put some high clearance stainless steel links on it. I didn't do these front ones just because it already had it, but now since I've done that, everything is a lot tighter. I did put this like universal TRX4 rear bumper on it. I got it for the hooks, and it's a lot closer to the body. And the crawling me and my buddies do, we like the technical stuff. So this happens to, shorten it up a little bit, right up to the body. The front, obviously with that big bumper, it's a little different, but it works just fine. And it's still running all the same stuff, so still the Hobbywing motor in there. I've not had an issue with it. Savox submersible servo. It is the, I gotta read upside down, SW2290 5G SG. I can't really tell, but that's the servo. It is a fully submersible. Somewhere on there it says it. Yep. Submarine. Desert Lizard shocks. I've seen those in the last update video about almost 2 weeks ago. This is that rear bumper. It is made for a TRX4, and this bumper actually came with a front and a rear. But since I have the winch bumper, I just wanted to run the rear. And then if you notice by the shocks, there's these little things. They are actually, if it focuses, Endura rock lights. I've been really into the crawler stuff lately. Man, that thing's getting heavy, which is good and bad. One thing, if you notice, there's a lot of brass, like brass here. You may not actually be able to see it, but there's a lot of brass in the wheels as well. Like, here's a wheel for it. You see I got brass wheel weights, brass hexes, there's brass rings inside. Pretty much you want as much, from what I can tell, you want a lot of weight in the axles and a little more up front. Like, I have, if you notice, my portals are off right now. They're sitting here. I also have these brass wheel extensions. I ordered these, which are the outer portal covers for this, to help with a little more weight up front. And tomorrow sometime, or what's today? The 21st. So the 21st, aka tomorrow for me, depending on when you watch it. But my inner portal covers will be in, which another difference with the V1 and V2 axles is the V2 has a double shear mount and the V1 is just that bottom mount. So the main reason I got them is, one, for the weight, and two, the one side actually broke. So I'm going to redo those. Since it's going to be all metal, I'm not going to really have that issue anymore. And I also do have this stainless steel high clearance, I guess you could say, steering rod to go on. Just haven't done it yet because there's no point to put portals on and then have to take them back off. I did put the God, what are they called? The Mickey Thompson Baja Pros on here. They are the super soft tires. Me and a couple of my buddies have them. Actually, pretty much all of us have these tires, and I have noticed with the super soft tires, at least, you could actually get a hole in the sidewall fairly easily, and then your tire will actually squish in and you'll get water in it, whatever. It's kind of a pain. But I did notice when I was running the BFG crawler, what are they called? Crawler TA tire. These are the super soft ones, and I have not had any holes in these or any issues. I mean, they're very soft. I'm, barely squeezing it, which, I mean, yeah, there's no foams, no rim on it, but still. And eventually, one of these days, I do want to throw these stock tires back on just to see how they do, because these are also very soft, but these may also go onto a different car, which I guess we could get into now, because that's kind of all I got on the Red Cat. I'm trying to line everything up one-handed, So this thing probably tomorrow will be ready to go again. None of this was really needed. I just kind of felt like doing it. I also did get the aluminum link mounts, and these are actually from a Gen 8, which you could see the stock Panhard bar mounts here on the axle. On the Gen 8, it actually came off of this link mount, so it's a little bit different. Luckily, it does clear through the entire travel. I did check, and I originally tried to put this link onto this mount to delete this plastic one here, but it actually just, no matter how short or long I made this link, it just would not work. I even tried different links because it came with a few others, but there wasn't one that had this exact bend. So that's just gonna have to work for now. I do want to get some metal drive shafts for it, and then I'm probably gonna order some aluminum axle housings as well. And then I think I may be pretty much done with this thing. I may look into like metal transfer case gears, simple stuff like that. But pretty much after that, it should, after I do the aluminum housings, get all the brass in the portals front, mainly the front, but I am going to do the portal covers in the rear just to get those done. I already have the diff back that are done, so might as well do the front, or the diff cover in the rear is already brass. I might as well do the rest. And it's really not that much money. I did also throw some weights under here. Just a little bit. I don't even know how much weight there is. I couldn't tell you. But it definitely helped a little bit. Not as much as I was hoping, but it did just fine. I'm sure you've already seen in the background, I got a TRX4 Sport for practically nothing. Pretty much the price of the Hobbywing Quick Fusion SE motor, so about 60 to 80 bucks, depending on which one. I'm actually building this for my girlfriend. She's been wanting to go crawling with me and my buddies. So I'm waiting on a axle shaft, and then that thing could get thrown together. I have the stock servo from this, or I also ordered the good old Amazon steering servos. These are actually really nice. They're all metal cased. Well, not all metal cased, but all metal gear. I've had them underwater. I've never had an issue with them. So I got that. That's one of those is definitely going, well, at least probably one of those is going into there. If not one of those, I'll put my stock one out of here into there. This still has like stock Traxxas motor, electronics, all that. So I'm going to be switching that out. I might keep it brushed. I'm not sure yet. But I also may just get the Quick Fusion SE motor and just run that. But I'm either going to run these stock wheels off of it, or I think I'm going to put these on just to give them a try. I'm not... excuse me. I'm not a huge fan of the white wheels. As you could tell, they're very bright. But if they work good, I'll paint the wheels black. I don't mind at all. The Nitro Buggy, it needs a pull starter, which browsing around at work, I actually found one, so I'm going to grab that. Nitro Slash e-conversion deal, it's been on the back burner for a while. Really all it needs, from what I remember, is a two-wheel drive, like Stampede two-wheel drive slash transmission, which I was going to get the Magnum one, but I actually sold that today, so I can't do that. And it needs radio stuff, like uh, what's it called? A receiver and a transmitter. Nothing crazy. And it may honestly need some more stuff. I don't remember if I stole stuff out of it. Which, yes, I did. Of course, why not? This thing needs a radio. That's really all it needs is radio and receiver. The Stampede is probably going to be for sale, which is kind of upsetting, but not really. It was more so to get my girlfriend into it. Ever since she's got the Vortex, she's been driving this one. This is really just a backup, say if this one breaks or batteries die. Which, we have found weak spots on these Vortex. So if you're looking at a Vortex, they're a great truck, but the main thing I would do, like, I don't know, say you run it a few times and you look into upgrades, I would definitely do all metal shocks all around. I still have the stock fronts on here. I'm waiting on metal ones to come in, but the rear slash shocks actually fit if you run a little adapter. There's like a little spacer piece up in there. You don't really need to run it, but if you have it, it helps. The tires, they're very stiff when you first get it, but these ones actually seem to have broken in a little bit, so they're not as bad. And then the body is a little weak. As you can tell, it's all messed up and stuff. But the main thing that I'm kind of upset about with this thing, if I could pop the front off here, the stock shock tower, which of course it's all plastic. We have broken 2 of them. The stock one and then the replacement one I just did. So now I just put this one on yesterday, a couple days ago, something like that. Actually, yeah, it was yesterday. So hopefully that holds together till I can order my metal ones. So I'm getting metal shock towers front and rear. I'm just gonna do the front for right now. Well, honestly, I'll probably wait till this one breaks again, and then I'll do them. But I did get a couple things. Well, here's the part number to the shock tower if you need it. It's ARA 320634. As you could, well, you can't really tell, but all I have is rears now. I did get the center drive shaft high speed support set, which is AR310878. It's essentially a bearing that goes in the middle of the drive shaft in the center of the chassis, just to help with high speeds. Which this thing with a 3S battery, it's a 5000. I think mainly she runs a 30C. I have a 50C, but she hasn't ran that one many times. I just got it. I mean, this thing, for what it is, it's around $350. If you put a 3S battery in it, this thing probably does about 50 to 60 mile an hour out the box. It's a very fast car, which is kind of surprising because it's kind of on the heavy side. But so far, other than like the shocks and the front shock tower breaking, then, body damage, which is kind of normal on these things. This thing has been very stout. The Stampede, like I said, maybe getting rid of it, but this thing has also been very good. I did notice this shock lost all of its oil in it, of course. And then the day this one broke the front shock tower, she was driving this around, and then we were at a skate park, and then a couple and their kid came, so we let the kid drive it around for a little while. Then of course the one right before we leave, my girlfriend gets the car back, and she runs it right into the side of a ramp and broke the shock right off. I mean, the kid, I ain't gonna lie, the kid beat the hell out of this thing, and nothing broke. Besides like flipping it over, and really nothing broke besides some body damage. And then she gets a hold of it for 3 minutes, crashes it, and broke a shock. But pretty much her stuff is good to go besides the Stampede needs a shock. I'm pretty much out of bashers once I get rid of those, the Max Flash and the XRT, which is where the Revo comes into play. So I kind of put everything back on here besides transmission and motor. Got the ESC, which I have to make adapters for. Battery trays on here. All the radio gears in here. The Integy motor mount still in there. Now, if you watch my previous video on this car, the stock Revo transmission has all plastic gears, which, if you know anything about Basher RC cars, plastic gears suck, especially in the transmission. Don't mind all the cat hair. My cat loves walking around up here for some reason. But all of these gears have wore down just enough to where they either don't grab or it slips or whatever. So about a month and a half ago, I ordered Robertson Racing metal transmission gears, and those came, I want to say, earlier last week. They're at my work. I just got to pay for them, and I just haven't done it because I haven't had time to do this, and I've had some bills and stuff. So probably in the next few days, you will see the Revo come to life. Probably gonna get the gears soon, and then get the motor and everything mounted back in there, and then it should be good. I do need to get wheels and tires for it. I keep forgetting about that, so I had to order those. But once I order those, the thing will be ready to go. Now, I'm not sure how long the thing is going to last, but say if I break an arm, I have... Oh, almost dropped you. I do have extra, front and rear arms for it, so I'm not super worried about breaking anything. Plus, I mean, it's a Revo, they still make them, so, yeah, that's kind of it. The HPI down at the bottom, kind of just waiting. My dog did get to the body and it got all fucked up, so I do have to kind of figure out a body for that now, but that's pretty much all that's been going on. Oh, the receiver that was in this, the 4-channel Red Cat remote, which is this one. It's a great remote. I love it. Stock in these Red Cats, and most of them anyway, the receiver sits right here where this Traxxas box is. About right here. And there's no case. There's no box like there is now. So water got in there. It fried the receiver. So right now it just has a Traxxas receiver in there with the Traxxas box. Which, funny enough, that box is actually out of the Stampede, which also, funny enough, has a Spectrum setup in it. So, you can kind of see in there. Well, either way, on that side where that white little tag is, there's a Spectrum receiver, there's a Red Cat speed controller and motor. I mean, it's kind of a bunch of different things, but it works really well. So, dropping everything. It's been a few days since I filmed, so I'm just not used to it anymore, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. So, that's been Blake's RC for today. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Hopefully tomorrow I'll kind of go over portal service and stuff once I get them, if they come in tomorrow, which hopefully they should. And maybe get some video crawling out with my buddies tomorrow, depending if we're going. And yeah, I mean, we'll kind of go from there and see what all I can do. I got to figure out what tires I want to get for that and get my transmission gears. I do have the motor for it, which it's just an Amazon motor, but I did get a set of fans for it. They're just Power Hobby fans that I got for cheap. I do have to get adapters from the 4mm bullet to the Traxxas 6.5mm, but I'll probably order those when I order the tires. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.